Hi, I'm Amy.
I'm Laura.
And we are Two Paper Girls.
Today we're going to do some Hogwarts house recommendations for books because this was a top 5 Wednesday, I think early June, maybe in May, and we'd already filmed and planned what was going up, so we didn't have a chance to do it. So we thought we'll do it anyway because it's just a really cute topic, and we're going to do a couple of books for each house because Amy's a Hufflepuff and I'm a Ravenclaw, so we thought if we're already doing 2 houses we may as well just do all of them.
My first recommendation is for my house, which is Hufflepuff, and that is The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein, because this book is all about a dog called Enzo, and he's a golden retriever, and he looks after his family, and his loyalty is the thing that just like sticks with me like throughout the entire book. It's just so gorgeous, and it just makes you feel just warm inside, which is generally the feeling that you get when you're around a Hufflepuff.
I would also class myself more of a Ravenpuff. I'm like Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. Really, I think I'm more Hufflepuff, but I've identified with Ravenclaw for a long time, so Ravenpuff. I picked The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon because it's all about this boy with Asperger's and how he deals with life, but he's such a lovely person, and Hufflepuff is the house that will have all the rest, and I feel like they'd totally accept him for who he is, and there's lots of loyalty involved because he gets really hurt by something that someone does. I don't want to say who because it's a spoiler, but a dog gets killed and he wants to find out who did it, and it's a lot about family and loyalty, and there's even a doggo. Yeah, it has the Hufflepuff themes of just kindness and family, and it's just I don't know, it doesn't really fit into any other house, and I just thought of this one straight away for Hufflepuff.
And our choices for Gryffindor include The Christmasaurus by Tom Fletcher, because it's all about this little boy here, and he's actually disabled, he's in a wheelchair, he lives with his dad, and he then meets this dinosaur, and it takes so much courage for him to do everything he does in this book because of his disability, but it also doesn't stop him, and he's just the happiest boy as well. He's got his bravery in terms of what he overcomes, physically, then he's got the bravery of how he overcomes all his emotional turmoil. And honestly, the twists in this book, you don't expect them, because it's a kid's book and it's dinosaur and it's happy, and then at the end just oh my heart, it's really miserable but also very, very cheerful. And I would definitely recommend this if you want a different sort of Christmas bravery.
My choice for Gryffindor is a similar kind of path that Amy chose with Wonder by J Palacio, which is about a boy with a facial deformity, and it's like a Neville kind of bravery. It's all about him again kind of overcoming his disability, if you'd call it that, and the bravery of going to school and facing people and standing up to people. Neville has to stand up to his friends in Philosopher's Stone, but also everyone eventually, this isn't really a spoiler, but everyone also eventually stands up for him in the school at the end, and that's such a nice thing. It's bravery of not wanting people to judge you for who you're friends with, and just it's different kinds of bravery to the obvious kind of bravery.
The next house that we're going to look to is Ravenclaw, because this is Laura's house, half and half, and represent.
Yeah.
And this is actually one that Laura picked, so I was really struggling for Ravenclaw ones.
It's hard.
And we've gone a bit different with this one. We've gone for Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett, Tiny Play, reenacted by Patrick Stump. What's his name? Patrick Swayze. Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah.
and Ian McKellen.
All I could think was Patrick Stump
Yeah.
as well.
And they acted it out in a modern version. But this play is so amazing. Basically, it's about these 2 guys that just sit and wait for Godot, and they just sit and wait, and that is the play. And I'm not going to tell you the end, that's the only thing that happens. It's the spoiler. It doesn't happen, and it's just something that you really have to think about, and everything they say, and the entire repeated plot structure, it's just so witty, and it's something a Ravenclaw would definitely appreciate.
My choice for Ravenclaw is a bit of a weird one as well, and that's Enduring Love by E. Mcewan, because for some reason this was just the first book that popped in my head, and I don't think about this book as often as I used to, and I haven't read it for 5 years now, which is crazy, but it's blue on the cover, which I think made me think of Ravenclaw, but it's just a crazy story. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like someone recounting this balloon accident that happened to them, and how that balloon accident was the catalyst for all these other things to happen, and this strange stalker man and obsession. It's really hard to explain. It's sort of a thriller, but also not very much happens, but it's got lots of technical language, and again it's one that you just have to really think about to appreciate, which I think a Ravenclaw would like. And I just loved it. And then when we read it for school, like no one else really liked it apart from me. So obviously there weren't many Ravenclaws in my house, because I do think this is just a Ravenclaw book, because it's just really hard to explain, but I think it's one of those books where it's good to not really know much and just go into it. It's not that long. I read it in like 2 days because it was really addictive, and it's just got so many different themes in, and it's just a really, really good book.
And the last house that we're going to go to is Slytherin, and I pick basically anything by Michael Grant for this house, because he writes in like quite a sadistic way, but also it's quite tasteful, and everyone in Slytherin is quite clever and also like cunning as well. That's like the main like characteristic of, I would say, like all of his protagonists, but especially the Gone series, and a special mention to Kane, my beloved, because he actually is the epitome of like evil. He's like very much like Draco and like, you know, the one with the black hair. Snape. Yeah. But yeah, I really just enjoy Michael Grant's books, and I think they're just the most Slytherin things I have read so far.
But I think that's because Amy has not yet read Vicious by V.E Schwab, because this is the most Slytherin book I've ever read in my life. Again, like Michael Grant, most of V.E Schwab's books have just like a darker element and very like cunning characters that are very ambitious, and that is just his book in a tea. It's two people who are really ambitious, who are like plotting and scheming against each other in like the cunning aspects, and they both hate each other's guts, and they're just two Slytherins who hate each other because of things in their past. And it's just a really good book, and it's already kind of going out of my head, which makes me a bit sad, but she is working on a sequel, so I might have to give this a reread before the sequel. But like anything by V.E Schwab, but especially Vicious, is just so Slytherin.
So those are all our recommendations for the 4 Hogwarts houses. We hope that you enjoyed them, and also let us know if we've missed any down in the comments below if you've got any good ones.
So we'll see you on the next video.
Bye!